What's inside your chain wax chunk and how often you replace it? Hot waxing is superb. However, sooner or later the wax chunk in a pot must be renewed. It's easy to fall for its nice looks from above, but will turn things around and go from the bottom. A whole another story, right? As the hot wax cools down, all the contamination settles right here. The major dark bits are clearly seen, while the minor ones just get mixed with anti-friction powder and form this matte gray layer at the bottom. If we look from the side, we easily notice the distinctive transition from the transparent layer of pure wax, which normally sits on the top of the chunk. Yes, we could scrape away some major bits from the very bottom, but there is still a plenty of others left inside the matte gray layer. Scraping away this whole layer would take too much while saving too little. By the way, if your hardened wax chunk doesn't come from a pot easily, there is a trick. Put it in a freezer for approximately 30 minutes and it should separate from the pot easily. This was a chunk of wax that I use for chains from my trail and gravel bikes. These chains see much more rain and grime on average, and therefore contaminate the wax chunk faster and heavier. Had this chunk been used for road chains, it would have looked better. Nevertheless, the chunk is a perfect example, since such whitish mixture of pure wax and PTFE powder reveals dark contamination much better than any other. To compare, I have another chunk made with black-colored anti-friction powder mix. Such mixture doesn't let us easily assess contamination, as all the dark grime perfectly blends in with the mixture. How often to replace then? For rod chains, manufacturers of the chain wax mixtures recommend to replace the chunk after 10 chains or 3,000 miles. Aussie Cycle, who is a guru of waxing with tons of experience, gave 4,000–6,000 kilometers as a rod estimate in his recent video, which is again an equivalent of 3,000 miles. Of course, you are welcome to replace the wax more often, should you aim for maximum performance or should your chains see lots of grime. Or, instead, keep the wax longer, should you thoroughly clean each chain before rewaxing and trust your mixture condition this much. The amount of wax in a chunk also plays a part here. The more wax, the slower it contaminates. The recommendation above works for half a pound or 250 grams of wax. There are simply too many factors involved in the decision, but you've got the average recommendation. In one of the previous videos there was a request for a few words on wax mixtures that I have tried. For my road bike I use the dark mixture shown above. It's the latest gen of molten speed wax based on anti-friction powders of molybdenum sulfide and tungsten sulfide. Both powders are dark colored, and so is the end mixture. For my gravel and trail bikes I make the mixture myself. It's just pure paraffin wax with added PTFE powder of 1.6 micron. You surely know this powder by its trade name, Teflon. And yes, it can reduce friction and repel elements just like the anti-stick coating of your fry pan. I've been using wax to PTFE mix proportion of 10:1, but in the recent video, Aussie Cycle concludes that after initial waxing is done, this proportion could switch to 80:1. Makes sense. On paper, PTFE is less effective than tungsten sulfide at reducing friction, and the major manufacturers of chain wax mixtures widely advertise this fact today. However, in the real world, both solutions are seen to keep chains within 0.5% wear mark over 10,000 miles. This is more than enough to choose any of them. I started the two mixtures out of curiosity a couple of years ago, and without a precise direct comparison, I can just confirm that both have been working fine for me. By the way, you can mix paraffin wax with any suiting anti-friction additive yourself, including the widely advertised tungsten sulfide powder, not just PTFE. Check what's easier and cheaper to get around your place: a branded mixture or the components of your choice to make your own mixture. And don't forget to renew it from time to time anyway.